Hey, we're recording. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Art Lexcia podcast. Welcome. I'm Wesley, your host. And welcome to episode 198. So yes, we are a few episodes from a 200th episode. So yeah, happy days. And to all my new returning listeners, much love to everybody. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. And if you haven't already tuning in, smash that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Today we're talking. It's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to today's episode. We're going to be celebrating the 45 years anniversary with the Roodepoort Theater and Golden Chronicles, and we're talking everything about that, about the event on the 24th of September. It's a black tie event. Lots of stuff to unpack over there. So I've got two beautiful guests, as you guys can see, Klaas Moukangwe and Campbell Jessica Meas. Both of you, first and foremost, good morning. Welcome, and how are you?
We're excited. Yes. Excited, working hard.
That's good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Thank you, man. Yeah, like I said, thanks for taking the time, guys, man. Very, very cool event. As I said, offline, lots to unpack here. And let's get stuck in. So I'm a real history buff, amongst other things. History is one of my favorite things. So let's get started off there with the history, man. 45 years old. Sure. I mean, what was that? 1980 something. My maths is not so great, but it had to be in the early 80s when you guys started off. Just give us an overview, man. A little bit of the history. How did it get started, and how did it evolve to Roodepoort Theater of today in 2025?
So, thank you for the opportunity. Roodepoort Theater started in 1980. For the years, great guests, and particularly in the opera space. Success, Wesley from this word, based international performances. And it evolved, from changing, and then it's also pro musica. When it was pro musica, we again focused more on opera music, also orchestra, a lot of it, and obviously a lot changed with the transition from pro musica to Roodepoort Theater under the Joburg City Theaters, where we now are diversifying the programming that we have. We have a lot of ballet, dance, music, drama, different categories. We have live performances. We have also a lot of youth activity that are taking place. Your drama classes, your music classes. So we have a lot of youth development, and obviously try to have a diverse audience and diverse development activities in the theatre. Over the years, we had fantastic plays. The Roodepoort Dance Festival stands out as one of the longest festivals that we've had. We've had them for 40 years now. So it's a great, one of the great things that show place. So Roodepoort Theater has been there for a while, and we have fantastic shows. Sometimes youth shows, and also the set works, the school set works, like My Children, My Africa books, and also looking forward to the African programs that we'll have in the next year. So we've evolved quite a lot from focusing mostly on ballet and opera to where we are today. And under JCT, so we have three divisions: the Soweto Theatre, the Joburg Theatre, and this one, Roodepoort Theatre, under Tony Swati.
All right, man. Thanks for that, man. Interesting point that you say you guys are trying to diversify your production. So, and I mean, this is substantial. I mean, it says that you guys had over 400 operas and over 500 symphony orchestra events. That is substantial. That is like, I mean, in 40 years, yes, that's a lot. Because I'm also well aware of the budget. I mean, these things don't come cheap either. I actually want to talk a little bit about your other productions before we get to the event. But just to touch on that, over 400 operas. I mean, clearly there's a market for it, and it is successful, and you guys get an audience for it. Can you guys just comment on that, man? What type of operas, guys, you bring, and how did you manage to? I mean, over 400 that's a huge number, man. I mean, the organizing behind it must also. I mean, you must have a pretty good team as well, and the funding. I mean, you guys clearly, is doing something right with regards to that. Can you guys just comment on that for me?
Sure. And I think the reason why opera stands out as one of the theater's strongest offerings is, again, part of its history and part of its foundations. So you have the Dubel family under Vice Dubel, who essentially started the theater, and he was a conductor. And so I think that is where the legacy of opera, and the Roodepoort Theater kind of started, was with its founder, Vice Dubel, and his heart for symphony, for operas, for big musical scores. And then that obviously evolved into more theatrical, undertakings and theatrical projects that also combined, drama and music. And I think over the past couple of years, opera has been the heart of the theater. But like Klaas mentioned, it's been such a strong foundation to build with the community, to build with an ongoing audience. But then over the years, because we have diversified in the way that we have, we've been able to bring more to the community and have the community also speak back to us. So I know we might chat about it a little bit later, but we also have a space called the Basement Theater here at the Roodepoort Theater. That was
Please.
also it was also begun once we joined the Joburg City Theatres. And the heart of the Basement Theatre is to provide a space for up and coming, theatrical plays or musicals or musical events, or we had dinners there. So it's a space where the community and smaller groups, more independent groups, can come to the theatre, receive quality support, and then also have a space where they can try out their ideas, where they can speak to creating new and original works. And so by having such a strong foundation, it allowed us to also open up more spaces to the community and to the audience to say, as much as we are, enjoying this selection of works, what else are you as a community and audience interested in? And then please speak back to us, and we would love to, provide those opportunities for the audience. And I think that, again, is one of Roodepoort Theater's strongest spaces, is because it allows independent creatives and artists a way into a bigger structure, but with the same kind of support that you would get for an opera or a 45-person symphony. I think one of the great things about the Roodepoort Theater is the team that they have here. Everyone has got such a great heart and passion for the audience, but also technically their skills are really, it's one of the best theaters that I have worked at. They've really made sure to upgrade it to a standard throughout all of their spaces that is really world class. So we might be out in the West and people might go, Roodepoort Theater, I didn't even know that place exists. But when you come here, you will be met with a team who is, very keen to play and very skilled, and a theater that, again, has just continually been growing and improving.
Fantastic, man. Thanks for that. Yes. One question that look, man. Just to give you some insight, I started this podcast during the hard lockdown during COVID, and I've been tracking how COVID has sort of changed the artistic landscape. Well, it's now almost close to 5 years now. I'm very interested to know, and because you said something interesting that resonates with me, that you guys are very invested in what's happening in the local community, and you sort of, conceptualize that or use that, or allow artists to use that information and have productions on that. How did COVID-19, how did the pandemic affect the Roodepoort Theater? How did you guys come back from that?
Sure. Interesting. During COVID, which affected all of us, by the way. But
everybody.
Particularly the theater industry was hugely affected in that a lot of production companies that we had for COVID couldn't really perform due to the restrictions. But the returning strategy that we had was more engaging with our long-term clients. We offered a lot of partnerships with them to ensure that they start up again without the budget constraints. That's why a lot of projects that we had post-COVID were partnerships instead of the rentals that we normally have. Obviously, it affected audience attendance in the beginning because people were now living the new way of living where people are mostly indoors. They watch TV from home. They don't. So we had to introduce a new way to engage the audience, to remind our audience how important is a theatre performance, how lovely it is to be on stage to see performances live. And obviously we had to offer complimentary tickets and engaging programs that are tailored to the audience we have here, so that we re-engage with the theatre. And as a result, the attendance and the type of audience that we've been having is back to normal now. It's actually much more inquiries on social media, more phone calls to find out when are we bringing particular shows. And we have been trying to work with our programming team to ensure that we bring back the shows. If you could remember last year, we had the story of Van Beek as well. It's one of the shows that was well sought out here in the area, and it did very, very well. It was in June, July last year. So our programming is mostly informed by what our audience love and what they come to the theatre. So we engage with our audience regularly, and our programming speaks to that. And that's why even the upcoming artists, they are able to reach out to the theatre with what they would like to achieve. The theatre, as Campbell has already spoke to the basement theatre. Obviously, it's a younger art creative who's starting out. We start them from there, and then based on their performance and how they grow, and still always looking to having them in the main theatre.
Fantastic. Yeah, man, that's great. That's I love that. I love that. So yeah, man, let's get into the event on the 24th. First of all, congratulations for the 45 years to the team and everybody at the Roodepoort Theater. From the Art Lexcia podcast, many congrats for that. Take us through the event, because you guys are launching both a book, and you guys are celebrating with that. What is it? The Walk of Fame, or the Walk of it's written here somewhere. But you guys are celebrating a lot of artists that has been in and out of the event, and there's some really star-studded names over there. If you're familiar with South African TV and theatre, Sandra Prinsloo, for example, yes, she's an icon. I mean, she's been on TV since. Even if I say TV, it's already giving away my age, because I'm growing up. I think she's always been on the TV as far as I know. Brilliant, man. Tell us a little bit. Give us just a bit of an overview of the event, and then we'll just talk a little bit about the names that you guys are going to be celebrating, and the lineup.
Yeah, so because we fall under Joburg City Theatres, a big mandate of our CEO during her tenure has been about celebrating not just theatrical artists and creatives, but multiple industry legends, man. So it started at the Joburg Theater, where they also have Walk of Fame, and they did that a couple of years ago, and they also celebrated some big South African just names in the creative industry. And so it followed at Soweto Theatre a couple of years later, and now it is our turn. So the fact that we are turning 45 years was a lovely excuse to throw a really big party as well, and also invite some amazing names. So essentially that is what we are doing. We are celebrating 45 years of the theatre being in the area, but we also want to make sure that we are contributing to honoring legends of our industry. We've got such a beautiful industry that has been around for many, many years. And some of these artists unfortunately pass away or move into obscurity, and there is no way to really mark their impact on the industry other than through word of mouth. And so as the Roodepoort Theater, similar with Soweto Theater and Joburg Theater, we are very proud to have the Walk of Fame, as a structure that people can come to the theater, see these names, and then in remembrance, have those memories about, watching Sandra Prinsloo on TV or in a film, We are going to be honoring people like Vincent Hantam and Christopher Kindo, who are amazing dancers and choreographers. We also have playwrights like Professor Riza DeVet and Greg Falloon. We've also got some other actors like Vanette Ibrahim, who everyone, knows and loves. We've got Tandiswa Mwazwai, we've got Kutuano Mashote, we've got Dr. Samson Diamond. So they are in our musical space. We've got opera singers like Stefan Lowe and Pumeza Machikiza. So it's a real wide spread of names.
Yeah,
And again,
yeah.
many of the recipients have performed here at the theater, which is great. So for example, Stefan and Kutuano, their journeys in the industry started also at the Roodepoort Theater. And so we are also just tracking and marking, their history with the theater, and then making sure that we're honoring them on that day as well. So yeah, we've got some really lacquer names, and it's going to be a really fun evening. Your invite is in the mail. It's on its way.
Fantastic, man. Also it's a black tie event. And I know, so there's a certain dress code, so that's lovely. So it gives people a chance to dress up, which everybody loves. Everybody likes that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so besides the Walk of Fame, the performances. Before I get that, I just want to highlight something that you mentioned, like Tandiswa, you've got an opera, Sandra Prinsloo and others. Like like you said, there's a serious variety of talent, let me say. So how does the lineup, how will the show actually work? So are they going to each performing a set on stage? And yeah, just take us through that.
Sure. So the gala event is essentially a full day event happening on obviously Heritage Day, which we thought was
Heritage
perfect.
Day, yeah.
And so it's going to start. It's going to start with everyone kind of, communing, having a couple of drinks, really being with the people again. And then we move into our amazing main theater, which is currently being refurbished with new chairs. It's really lovely. Yeah, and then we're going to have a production directed by our artistic director, James Ngobo, and how he has envisioned that is it is a variety show that is going to be showcasing short snippets again of each category. So we're going to have a piece by ballet dancer and choreographer Kitty Petla. We are going to have Pumeza and Spongile Ngoma, share an aria with us. We are going to have Andre Oerendal and Nhlakanipo. Oh, I forget his name. I apologize. They're going to be doing a couple of monologues for us. So it's just going to be a variety show of, just small moments in, I think, South Africans' art history. And again, not all recipients are involved in that production, but we are really grateful to those who were able to avail themselves. And so again, it's if you didn't know this name, come join us on the 24th and see this person perform on stage and see the reason why we are honoring them the way that we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. And like you say, it's on. Oh, yeah. Please continue. Yeah, go for it.
I'm saying it's also a reflection of where JCT is going to. The performance will reflect how far we've come and we are going as a theatre. The things and also Roodepoort Theater to ensure that the theatre is more inclusive, but also it does not forget where we come from. We continue to embrace all these performances that we've had, all these creatives that we've had, but ensure that the upcoming creatives also understand that history forms part of who we are as a theatre, and as well as you become an artist, don't forget where you start. But it really is a reflection of where JCT is heading, with this production. So we can't wait to see what the artistic director and the team are producing.
No, man, fantastic, man. Yeah, man, that's great, man. And as I said, like, it's on the 24th, which is in South Africa. If you're outside of South Africa, there's Heritage Day. It's a public holiday, and it's celebrating South African cultures and culture. And to have this ensemble of everything it's beautiful. I think that your timing and stuff is great. So as you say, it's a whole day event. So what time does it start and what time does it end?
Sure. So we are going to try and start as early as possible. It is a public holiday, so we don't want to keep everyone out.
Yeah.
Some people do have to go to work the next days. So it starts at 12 o'clock here at the Roodepoort Theater. We'll have a couple of hours with everyone. We'll have the star ceremony after the production, so that by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, our day of celebration kind of comes to an end.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to be inviting people who have, really also contributed to the legacy of the Roodepoort Theater, who have been long-standing clients or long-standing partnerships. Under the Joburg City Theaters, we're going to be inviting, delegates from those theaters as well. And then we'll also be having, our mayor join us on the day, so that they can also speak back to, to speak to a theater that is for the community and serving the community under his leadership as well. So.
Interesting. Yeah, man. I was sort of want to ask about the book, but before I get there, I know you guys have changed your logo, and you mentioned earlier on that main theater is getting a makeover. Tell us a little bit about that. What other changes can your guests look forward to?
So if for everyone who has not been to a theater, if you come through to the theater, the first thing you all come on the gate is a big, lovely lighting that showcase that you have arrived. You're not lost in the theater, and as you walk in through the theater, you will see our lovely entrance. It's been revamped. It's new. It's a reflection of where we are heading, the direction that the theater is taking. You say, while we embrace where we come from, we can still look modern, refreshed, and still have fantastic shows. So the whole reception also has been revamped. Lighting at night is perfect. Multiple colors. You go into our main theater. There is brand new chairs that you love. I was sitting on them this morning. I was like, I can't wait to watch the performance there. It looks also, it has been painted. The lighting has been changed. The stage is refreshed. So everything about the theater has been revamped. Also, we are looking into, obviously, modernizing as well our outside area where it's like a garden to make it look nice. And our restaurant as well will be, refreshed. And also the student room will be obviously refreshing. But also, if you look at the front just before you go to the main theater, on the day it will be refreshed. It will be all looking brand new. Again, as part of our part to ensure that the theater, as the theater grows, also it looks apart. So it looks like part of the new theater that we are looking at. So that the theater, as old as we are 45 by the way, but we still look brand new, we still look like a new kid on the block, so the upcoming artists and all generation can be able to enjoy the theater that we have been. So embrace the history, embrace where we've been, and still look perfect.
Yeah, man, that's a really important thing in 2025. Optics matter. A new coat of paint matters. A new logo matters. It's small, but it's actually quite a big thing. Especially if somebody has been there before and they come back. People like to see growth, and we're living in such a visual age where, as I say, colors, textures, those things matter. So that sounds really cool. Which actually leads me sort of to something that I'm really interesting that I'm really interested in is your coffee table book, the 45 year anniversary book.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, man. How did it? Who wrote it? Is it a what's the book about? Where's it? Was it publisher, and where's it available, and all of that?
Man, this coffee table book is such a special thing. So similar again, Joburg City Theater, they felt that it was important again to have something physical that people could take home and visually reflect through again the actual productions, the glory of the theater. And so it's a similar thing with the Roodepoort Theater. It's been so beautifully designed and written. So our artistic director is a huge fan of the author Terry Ann Adams, who wrote Those Who Live in Cages, which is about the community of Aldos. And so they were commissioned to come on and help author the book for us, but essentially that book has been authored by the entire team. And Terry Ann has just been the person weaving stories together. Yeah, you know, that coffee table book, again, is a reflection of the past 45 years. It looks at the area 45 years ago. It looks at the politics of the 45 years ago, and then it places the theater in that time and then shows how the theater has grown again with the community around it. So it's a beautiful visual representation of the shows that we've had, of the people on our stages, of how the theater has been refreshed and refurbished over the past couple of years. So we are so thankful to Terry Ann for putting in the work to create the story of the theater. But part of that story was sitting with long-standing staff members who have been at the theater for nearly 20 years. I think that's something, again, that the theater can be very proud of, is they have 14 staff members here who have been working for over 10 years with the theater. And, you know, that's a heritage point. That is something that you can sit down with someone and say, 20 years ago, what was the theater like? What were you guys watching? And Terry was able to do that. So again, she weaved the stories, but the story really is authored by everyone here.
Very cool, man. Do you have a copy of the book close by that you can show my listeners?
Unfortunately not. It is currently being printed with our suppliers, but what I can do is after this, I can send you a link to a couple of the pages for the book, and then you can also have that.
That'll be great.
Yourself.
That'll be great. Thanks. I appreciate that. And to my listeners, I'll add a description that in the I'll add a link in the description over there, so you guys can view that. Just two more questions on the book. Will it only be available at the Roodepoort Theater? Or if so, where else? If somebody from abroad, from outside of Joburg, you know, Cape Town, Durban, whoever wants to buy it, how do they get hold of it?
So as things stands, the books will be at the theater, but obviously they can always reach out to us, to me. I'll also share with you my email address. If they
please.
need the book, and obviously of how it can be published or shared with them. But I think that is the decision that will be made by our leaders as to how the books can be accessed. But if you are here on the day, you will get the book. I'll make sure that. But for everyone else, they are welcome to reach out to us. If they go to Roodepoort Theater's website and on contact, for the media, my contact details are always available. They can reach out and you can always see how we can make sure that they get the book. I'll speak to obviously to the team to find out if we'll have a digital version of the book as well. Obviously, once that is clear, I'll make sure that I communicate.
Yeah, man. That's as I said, books is also one of my major passions. I've got a real thing for books, and it's very interesting. Coffee table books. It's actually quite a powerful statement, given all the resources that goes into creating one, and the fact that it's usually quite, the information, the photos, and etc. are usually substantial. And if you're saying, if you guys are covering this entire history and talking to the staff, which is something I'm actually quite interested in, that's fantastic, because then you're giving the listeners a view of what actually happening at the actual theater, not just the productions. So just one quick question on that. Are the stories about the staff members working there, or are they talking about the experiences in working with other productions, or is it just about the general history of the theater?
Man, it's a little bit of everything. It's definitely all three of those things. So obviously, with any institution, you can't just talk about the institution without the people that have made it. So we have interviews. Yeah. So when we are speaking with the staff members, yes, we are speaking about the experiences, but the experiences made the theater as well. So it's definitely a little bit of both, of going in. When Vice Dubel was CEO here and you were part of a million opera shows. What was that experience? What role did you play? A lot of the staff members also started as one thing and then have grown in position over the years. So it's also about tracking that. You know, you started as an usher, but now you are working as part of the management team. And, you know, and I think, again, that's such a beautiful touch point.
I love it.
With growth of and connected to it. So yeah, it's a coffee table book. You never want to put too many words, but
it's also reflective. By the way.
Yeah.
You know, the more you read the book, the more you can engage and feel affected by how the theater has become what it is today. So it's quite a refreshing book. Having the privilege to read through the book as it was being written, you get to enjoy. It also looks fantastic, by the way. Not because I work here. It looks beautiful. It looks very beautiful, the book. And now it makes it easier to consume. And it's not too long, not too short. It's lovely. But it reflects the family-oriented nature of how the Roodepoort Theater has been working in JCT as a whole, with the vision of the CEO and all the senior leadership to say we are oriented towards being an inclusive organization that says everyone is welcome in the theater and your story matters. I think if you listen to James Nobles, you would say that your story matters. Your story can be embraced from where you come from. We value you as an organization, and you being part of our history means a lot. And even his selection process, when you are selecting a writer, he was clear that he wants to write a story that people can relate to. You know, where as you go through the book, you can understand the vision of the theater as a whole. So it's quite a refreshing book to read. It also has a unique perspective. You know, we have the create. You know, Katle, as he was designing as well, you could see that he's, you know, he has a relationship with the book, with the writer. So it's a lovely process to get. But the book, I promise you, but you'll come and tell me after the book. It's a fantastic book.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. One last question on the actual event. It says that you guys are offering free Wi-Fi to all the guests, and you encourage them to broadcast and to share pictures about the show. Tell us a little bit about the reason for that. First of all, I love that idea because this is 2025, and we do love. I mean, these type of. That's how we share events. So, and also share us any hashtags that people should use and so forth.
So there's two hashtags that we will be working on in the day. So it's RT45 and Roodepoort Theater 45. So these are the two hashtags that we will be working on. Obviously, hashtags, what I like about hashtags is they just evolve on the day of the event. But mainly we are celebrating Roodepoort Theater 45. You know, we've been around for a very long time. So we like this to be, you know, the message that goes to the community and everybody involved with it. But these are the main two hashtags that will be used on the day, obviously, to ensure that the message spreads across all the necessary channels, speaking to what we've achieved over the years.
Okay. Yeah, man. So what I will do as well with each episode, I chop them up into shorts. So those are like 1 minute, sometimes 45-second, not really longer than 2-minute clips. And I do a bunch of them, and I usually do that a week after I publish. So I'll publish this episode tomorrow, which will be the 4th of September, if I'm correct. Yeah, tomorrow will be the 4th of September. So I'll publish the episode then, and I'll chop up these videos. They'll be probably by Friday or early next week, and I'll share that with you, of course, as well, and of course on all my platforms. And those videos are pretty effective, and their reach is substantial. Yeah, and I'll also add all those hashtags, of course, to this video, but all the content around your event. And just to wrap up, and so just to give if the listeners missed the details, so it is the 24th of September. It's starting at 12 till 4, you say, and it is a black tie event, correct? and
Yes.
parking and tickets and things like that. So, are there tickets available at the door, or should you go to CompuTicket or web tickets or so forth?
So for this one, we are keeping it invite only because
Oh,
the recipients, yeah, the recipients that we are inviting, we want them to bring their community, we want them to bring their guests, because again, as much as we are celebrating the theater, we are also celebrating 33 artists and institutions. And so to make it comfortable for them and to really honor them and share this moment with them, it is invite only to allow our recipients and the theater an opportunity to, as a community, gather and celebrate this moment. Yeah.
And also, just to add, there will be
yes.
obviously material in the theater, leaflets that reflects the day post the event. This obviously the audience, when they come to the theater, will get a sense of being part of the community. So there will be leaflets that reflects all these things that took place in the theater. Obviously the content will be shared as to what happened on the day on our social media channels, to ensure
Yep.
that the community can obviously feel part of this achievement as well.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that, Klaas and Jessica, man. Just in closing, can you give us all your social media handles, website addresses, and so forth? And where can guys
So
find
the
information on the
website is
Roodepoort Theater? Yeah, please go ahead.
okay. So they can go to sorry. So they can go to roodepoorttheater.com. It's Roodepoort Theater on Facebook. It's Roodepoort Theater on Instagram and Twitter. So we are available on those hashtags. But also they can always send an email to myself, plus@roodepoorttheater.com, for any media inquiries or any if they need update on shows. All our shows are published on our website. So yeah, we reached out there, reach out, and we try to respond as quick as possible to all the customer inquiries and questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was lovely. I'll add all the details again in the description box below. If anyone missed that, they can have a look at it over there. Klaas and Jessica, thank you very much for taking your time out to talk about your event on the 24th of September. Once again, many congrats on that. All the best for the show, and I will be in touch with regards to when the episode goes live and the shorts I'll publish. And once again, thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
See you on the 24th.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. We'll be in touch on WhatsApp now. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day now.
Yeah.
You too.
All right, man. Shop.
Bye.
Bye bye.